Well, first of all, let me welcome everybody to the Houston Fire Department's Holiday Press Conference. This is a very important time of year. As festive as it's supposed to be, there are always precautions that we must take. You know, every year we try to come out and remind citizens that with everything going on and all the festivities, there's a lot of things that are risks, especially when it comes to respect to fire. During the holidays, we tend to see an increase in our residential fires. And a lot of these are caused because we start using those candles, our Christmas trees, plus we start overloading outlets because we have our lights being plugged in, and we have a lot of fires in this time of year that can easily be prevented if we follow certain precautions. Now, with nearly half of the population of the city living in apartments here in Houston, it was really important to get the apartment association involved. They've always been amazing partners when it came to promoting safety, especially when it comes to residential areas, but overall safety in the general Houston area. So from the Houston Apartment Association, I'd like to present to you President Jennifer Panarel.
Welcome everyone, and thank you for coming out today to learn more about safety measures you can take to prevent fire during the holiday season. Each year, apartment owners and managers seek to educate their residents about numerous fire hazards that can occur this time of the year. As Captain Lozano said, nearly half of our city's citizens, or about 1 million residents, live in apartments, and educating residents is extremely important and a very great undertaking for our association. Last December, Houston had about 60 apartment fires, causing more than $1.2 million in damages. Many people lost their homes and their possessions. Apartments in Houston and Texas have become even safer in the last 2 years. State law requires battery-operated smoke detectors be installed in every apartment bedroom that doesn't already have one by the end of 2012. Previously, battery-operated smoke detectors were only required outside of any bedroom door. We want everyone to have a safe and happy holiday by keeping some simple safety tips in mind. While celebrating and decorating for the holiday season, it is critical to have working smoke alarms in your apartment home. When you move into a new apartment home, please test the smoke alarms to make sure that they are in operational function. Check by ensuring that smoke alarms are working twice a year. We recommend that you do this at the daylight savings time changes, when it starts and ends. Residents should always check with their property manager before using space heaters or candles. Many leases prohibit the use of space heaters and candles. If any of you have any questions about what you can and cannot do in your apartment home, please check with your property manager and have a very safe and happy holiday.
Thanks, Mike. You know, there's no doubt that we all know that fire kills. And fire doesn't discriminate. It doesn't care what race you are, what gender you are, what socioeconomic status you reside in, or if you live in a house or an apartment. But during the holiday season, those fire hazards go up. Not just by half, not double, but they almost triple. A lot of these things can easily be prevented. But the most important thing is that we always, just like Jennifer said, always have that working smoke detector. That working smoke detector, what it's going to do more than anything else, it's going to alert the resident, especially if they're asleep, to get up, get out. And you combine that with a proper exit strategy, your chance of surviving a fire go so high that we've never actually seen where strategies and a smoke detector combined and we still had a fire. There's always something that occurs that could have been prevented, whether it was the smoke detector tested, was the battery working, was it properly placed? Whereas everybody educated in what to do during those circumstances. Citizens who own their own home but cannot afford a working smoke detector can always come to us. The Houston Fire Department's Get Alarm Houston program offers smoke detectors to anyone that needs it. All you have to do is contact us at 832-394-6633. Or you can also visit our website, houstonfire.org. Now understand, this year we also have smoke detectors for the deaf. That's an important concept that is new to Houston. The Houston Fire Department went really hard this year and solicited a grant from FEMA. And we've been able to secure close to $200,000 worth of smoke detectors for the deaf. Call that same number and we will coordinate. Even if you live in an apartment, we will still coordinate and get that smoke detector for the deaf out to you, installed by one of our Houston firefighters. Before I conclude this, is there any questions?
I have a question for Jennifer. When you talk to apartment managers, what's the biggest problem they see in terms of things residents do that can potentially cause fires?
Well, I think, like I mentioned, space heaters and burning candles unattended, or leaving things on the stove that is many times a cause of a fire unattended.
Are there any things that maybe make fire risk more dangerous in an apartment complex than in a private home?
I think just the mere density. So if there is a fire in an apartment unit, making sure that those smoke detectors work so that they're notified, and because you have more people living in one area versus a single family home, it's usually one family.
How does a fire alarm for the deaf work?
Well, it's interesting that you asked because there's different versions. The ones that the fire department is offering has an exceptionally strong strobe. This strobe of the light is typical like you see in commercial or like in your hospitals. So it's so strong that even while asleep, that strobe is going to irritate you and wake you up. Along with that, the typical alarm has been increased in decibels to be of a higher pitch and sound, because not everyone is completely deaf. They might just be hard of hearing.
And what would you commonly say? I mean, there's the Christmas tree, there's the space heater, there's the electrical outlets. What are the most common electrical problems that you see, or the most common mistakes people make?
Well, what we've seen is one of the highest causes of residential house fire is food being left unattended. That's just across the board, not time of year, that's just year round. But when it comes to electrical fires during this time of year, what we have is our Christmas trees have lights. Then we want to put lights in our mantle. And the Christmas tree is close to the mantle too. We utilize the same plug. We don't have a surge protector. We overload that plug, and once that plug becomes overloaded, an arc can occur, and then a fire starts. Plus, sometimes maybe you do have a surge protector, or you have what you think is a surge protector, but it's really not. So you have to, don't just go out and buy something that appears to be a surge protector. Make that inspection. Make sure that it's approved as the UL Underground Laboratory. That's a very good company that certifies it being safe. And that's what you have to do. You have to educate yourself about what you're putting in your home.